Hi everybody, it's Friday. I just had a lot of responses to Ben's video this week, and I also have lots of ideas about TV shows, and I decided we can wait for next week since most people didn't get to make a video this week. And I will talk about TV shows and language learning and things like that later, although I think the topic was supposed to be movies, but I watch more TV than movies.
Does anyone else have similar experiences where they just see a resource and, oh my god, must buy, and then never use?
I can't really show you my collection of bad purchasing decisions because I'm not on the West Coast right now, I'm on the East Coast, but I do that all the time. In your video, Ben, you also mentioned being really obsessed with something for 2 weeks and then never touching it again. That would be Thai, that would be Quileute. I have a short attention span too. For me, though, I also have a problem that I can't do just one thing, and that's not enough of a challenge for me. Apparently, I need to have my brain active in different ways, but I also need to have time to have my brain active, if that makes sense. I also struggle with the not knowing you want something until you see it. Like, I didn't know I wanted to learn Romanian until you mentioned it, and I didn't know I wanted to learn Mongolian until somebody offered me the chance to go to Mongolia. And then when the trip disappeared, so did my desire to learn the language. And actually, I'm on the East Coast, kind of a personal challenge to myself to see if I can even justify calling myself a polyglot, which involves sitting down in front of Japanese recruiters and talking to them in formal Japanese. And if I'm good enough, I get a second interview, and if I'm not, I'm going to feel like a fail. That doesn't mean I'm a failure, because I can communicate, I can write an essay, I can hold a conversation, but I am never going to be at a native fluency level. That bothers me, but like you were saying, Ben, we're jack of all trades, master of none. Ultimately, our desire to learn other languages prevents us from reaching native fluency. I'm glad you're going back to France. I mean, that's going to get you closer. Ben mentioned that time is one thing that stops you from studying, or focus and attention. I would say for me, finances is also a thing that stops me. I may not have lagged out of Mongolian if I'd been able to buy the resources, but Mongolian not being a major language means those resources were significantly more expensive than, say, a book on MSA. Even if you don't get the best book on the market, you can still get something. Mongolian, a little bit more difficult. Maybe I just haven't explored the corners of Reddit and the internet enough to find out where it's hiding. Eddie, I think you posted a link on Tumblr last week talking about a list of your language resources, and I think you had Colloquial Mongolian as an ebook, which is something I was thinking about buying, but the paper copy was $45, not including shipping, so I didn't buy it. I guess ultimately, as polyglots, we're all just fascinated by language, and I think we all have to struggle with focus in some ways and choosing which language to focus on. For me right now, I'm choosing to focus on Japanese and Korean. Japanese because it's my major, I want to get a career in a field where I get to use it. And Korean has become my fun break, which is weird. It's one of my weaker languages, but it's also a target language, and it's fun to study. There are resources right now that make it fun to study. It's fairly popular right now. The media is fairly popular. I'll talk more about that next week. And Chinese, I have a lot of reviewing to do, and I'm not really sure how to pick it back up. Sophia, or if anybody else is struggling with Mandarin, suggestions, and I will talk to you all on Friday. Annyeong!